You're taking over the role originated by Laura Bailey in the game. Have you had any conversations with Laura? Can you tell us if you did what you talked about?
So I actually didn't. In my first meeting with Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, I asked them about, how close they wanted to be to the Abby in the game, and Neil really, sort of didn't want any of the cast members to play the game. I think because they're really using the game as inspiration, but in the show, they just wanted the show to be its own standalone thing. So I didn't have the chance to talk to her, but and also because there was literally not a lot of time. Once I had my meeting with Craig and Neil, everything was kind of happening really fast.
Mhm.
So no, I didn't, unfortunately, but definitely admire her work as Abby in the game.
Obviously, like Laura Bailey did an amazing job as Abby in the game. Now you have Kaitlyn Dever. Was there anything as Kaitlyn started filming that you were like, oh, that was something I didn't expect, or something about the character that she found that isn't necessarily on the page? Anything that kind of surprised you?
There's these constant surprises, but they're very subtle and nuanced because you're right, these are both two extremely talented actors that I've been very privileged to work with. And the thing I love about Caitlin, and I know Caitlin is not trying to copy in any way what Laura has done, and yet she's captured that character's essence. There's this ferocity and vulnerability, there's this drive, and there's this love that this character has that Caitlin, in a very short period of time, kind of captured all of it. So maybe the thing is that was most surprising is how quickly she did that. Okay, actually something does come to mind, which is when we make the game, we're shooting it on this very cold motion capture volume.
Yeah.
Actors have to wear these funny suits with the balls on them. Caitlin did so much action herself, so many stunts herself. She like rolled down this snowy hill mountain. She like threw herself at this ladder and climbed it. Like a lot of the action you're seeing is Caitlin. That was very surprising how much she was willing to do.
There's been so much discussion about Abby. Who is Abby and who isn't Abby and all that. For you, what was the core of what the character was? Like, is there any like detail about how she moves or what she says or how she acts that you were like, this is the thing I need to nail to be her?
Yeah, I think for me, Abby is so much more than what I guess you could say she is on the surface, which is a very angry and just sort of intense surface. But underneath that was what I thought Abby was at her core, which is just, a really broken person. She's just a human being trying to cope with loss, to me, especially in the 5 years within the game. I think that I guess that 5 year time jump that we do, I think it's definitely like very clear how much that changed her. So I think that that's really who she is at her core, is just someone who is struggling to stay alive and to cope.
Before this horrible thing that happens to her, do you think her values changed a lot between like the before that and the after that, Abby?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Grief and losing someone that close to you is is such a all-consuming, sort of overwhelming feeling. And I don't know about her values necessarily, but she's sort of, I can understand like when you're left with nothing, like she doesn't have anyone really anymore. Like, what do you do? Well, what do you do with that, and how does it manifest itself? And with her, I think she wants revenge, and she thinks that revenge is the only way that she'll feel better.
This is a character that a lot of people, game players, think that they know really well.
Mhm.
Was there anything in playing her in the season that surprised you, that was surprising in general about how she either presents herself to the world or she is presented to the world?
Actually, I guess in taking on this role, I was sort of, in the early like stunt rehearsals and wardrobe fittings and things like that. You start to gradually figure out who this person is, through those different meetings. And I think something I realized about her that I didn't really think I was going to do before getting into prep was just the way she carries herself. And I think that holds up sort of this certain energy that I think is like her armor in a lot of ways. And I think I didn't think that that was going to be a part of the character work, but it just sort of started to naturally happen, especially after the stunt training. There were certain ways you carry yourself in like a tougher way. Honestly, it was maybe like the first day of shooting. It was sort of like just the way she commands herself, especially within the group of her Firefly crew. Again, because of her past, I think she's just been through quite a battle, and I think that sort of shows itself in the way she walks into a room. And I think that is why she, to me, like energetically, would be like somewhat intimidating.